From the beautiful campus of Casper College, it's the T-Birds Coaches Show, bringing you game breakdowns, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews. Here's your host, Tom Myler.
Hello, T-Bird fans, and of course, welcome to another fantastic Casper College Coaches Show. With us, we have Coach Dwight Canary. Coach, welcome once again.
I appreciate it. It's always fun to visit with you, Thomas.
Hey, I mean, it's great. I mean, we could talk about basketball the whole time. I mean, you're not a rock guy, are you?
Like in geology
Yeah,
or
like
in
geology.
music?
I mean, either one. Are you
I'll go music with you, but you keep the rocks.
Yeah. I only asked just because we had a little fun with Coach Parks here at the
Okay.
beginning of our show, and it turns out he's a rock guy, as in geology.
Okay, I might know a little bit, but not too far out. You give me some shale or some something like that.
You got your basics. You're good.
Granite, and I can go a couple.
All right, let's talk a little bit about rock then. Throw out your rock band.
Oh, rock band.
Rock band.
Tough one. Top three: AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. That's my era. So top three.
Yeah, I can see that. Those are some pretty good ones.
Yes. And if I had my way, that would be every pregame playlist that we go to. But it's not about me.
Well, I mean, I was gonna. Yeah, it's what are you hearing nowadays? What's the cool kids listening to?
Yeah, good question. Sometimes it's just and if it gets them ready to go, that's all that matters to me. But it varies gym to gym and team to team actually for us. So it's whatever the flavor of the day is, I think.
Is there a lot of Taylor Swift?
Yes, it does appear, but probably not as much as you would think.
I don't really see her as like a pump up kind of song.
No.
But it's still Taylor Swift.
It is on the lists in most places and stuff, but not what you would think.
Well, all right, Coach. It's always fun to talk about rocks, both musical and geological. But we're here to talk about a different kind of rock,
Yes.
basketball rock.
Yes.
So let's talk about some basketball. So
Okay.
we had a split weekend. You played a tough CSI team, and we knew it was going to be tough. And then you go and you had to be not nice to the Smiles team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where that came from. Like, yeah, you beat them the first time, but then just, holy Moses.
We really put a lot of things together in that game.
Yes.
So that was kind of a glimpse at what we can do when we're playing all phases at a high level. And, I know Miles hasn't had the wins and stuff like that. So we're not talking about number 4 team in the country, but still to be able to put everything together kind of shows what we are capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, you're shooting over 50%. I think your free throws even were still 70% maybe. Your 3-point percentage was a little bit lower. I think it was still hovering around 30, but it was just, what a game that you put together.
It was. We got to the rim often, and we also got some easy putbacks on offensive rebounds, and that's what really puts your percentages up. So, just complete game, probably our best complete game in a long, long time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up rebounds because, man, watching those games, you can just see they want the ball.
Yes.
If the ball is going up, they find it, and they're like, I'm going to get it. And watching Adama is just so fun because she's, like, always there.
It is incredible, her energy, and I think reverting back to the CSI game, that was something that kind of let us down a little bit. We only had 6 offensive rebounds, and as we talked off mic, we had both Adama and Andy in foul trouble very, very early. They were on the bench in that first quarter in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game with 2 quick fouls each. And those are 2 key rebounders for us. So that was lacking a little bit in that CSI game, and I think a big reason of that is we just had to protect Andy and Adama early in the game with the foul situation.
And so once again off camera, we talked about how at halftime you kind of talked about, hey, how do you deal with if 2 key pieces of our offense are sitting? How do you adjust to that? So how do you adjust to that?
It's just everybody is sometimes. They wait for Andy or Adama, or we want Andy and Adama to get as many touches and looks and along with Luna as possible. And so I think the team is kind of conditioned to, where's Andy? Where's Adama? Where's Luna? And when they're not on the floor, then, they need to be the alpha or the aggressor, and it takes a little while. And I thought we did a much better job in the second half of playing with pace. We call it playing with pace, not standing around, not passing and standing. And when you make a cut, make a hard cut. When you go to the rim, drive hard, and we picked that up. And offensively, we did a much better job in the second half with that.
Yeah, it kind of reverted to some of the older ways where it was a slow start. And I mean, we can put a lot of that to that early foul trouble with Andy and Ottawa, but you take away that first half and you even mentioned it's 33-33, you're tied.
We did. We played even with them the second half, which, is a slight moral victory. You also have to understand CSI is going to probably play a little differently with a 16-point lead than they would if we were going basket for basket the whole game. They probably got a little bit deeper into their bench, although they can go all the way to the end and they still are very, very talented and stuff. So it was a little bit skewed just based on what the first half was like, but nonetheless, we had success against great athletes and a very well-coached team. So I did take some positive from that second half, and moral victories don't slide from L to W in the win-loss column, but we're still in teachable part of the season, and so there was some positives coming out of there.
So what teachable moments are we taking away from the CSI game?
We have a tough time of being very consistent in some of our basic fundamentals on defense, like our gap help or our stunting or interior blockouts and those kind of things. And we really we're trying to emphasize doing this on more of a high frequency and consistency. And we did that against Miles. Again, it was, not the number 4 team in the country, but we did that. It's doing those kind of things that are going to get us to that next level.
Yeah, because I even saw that, even like the screens, you're kind of getting better at defending.
Yes.
You're doing really well about switching. It's like, okay, hey, I'm being screened. That person takes it, the other one goes back.
Absolutely.
So you're kind of those give and goes, pick and rolls are less of an opportunity now. And so seeing that and saying, oh, they've definitely learned how to defend that.
Again, you're just spot on all the time, because whenever we have to switch a ball screen, we have been a little deficient on covering up the roller with our guard and stuff like that, and that has got quicker, and we are getting better at it. So you're right, we're trending in the right direction, and great observation by you.
Well, thank you. I got to have something to talk about right here. And so I might not have been necessarily even played basketball in high school, but it's like, hey, it's still fun to watch and understand the concepts. And
you could fool me, just throw anything out and I'll buy it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Hey, the baseline, the thing's down there. No,
God, I got to go back and watch some video to make sure, you're probably right on that. I'll investigate.
All right. So CSI game, tough one. You do okay. Shooting percentage is kind of in the 30s. So it's even if you're in the 40%, you're probably doing better. Just, it is a tough team.
It is. And again, they're long and they're athletic and I give CSI a ton of credit.
Yeah.
We're responsible for a good 10 points. I think we self-inflicted. So I'm not saying if we play our A game, we automatically are going to win that. And I also, definitely have to give CSI a lot of credit. They are one of the best teams in the country. And, if we were going to lose that, I would have liked it being at our highest level.
Yeah.
And we had some self-inflicted mistakes that we can change. And then also, the foul situation.
Yeah. And to give even more credit to CSI, we talked about this before. If a team can be good in the paint, mid-range, and around the perimeter, they're going to win most of their games. And just seeing some of their mid-range shots, they were making, I don't know how many, but all the ones I saw, they were going in. It's just like, that's really hard to defend when they can make mid-range, perimeter.
Very rare. Yeah, very difficult, because you have to use some help to protect the rim. Sometimes you have to use a second player to do that, out of the 3-point line. But when they're in that middle gap, there's not that built-in help situation. So if they can pull up and make those shots, that's extremely hard to defend. And CSI is probably the best team that we played this year at the mid-range game.
Yeah. So tough game. We'll move on. We'll focus on.
Yep.
And let's talk a little bit more about the Miles game. I don't know what would make you what made you so happy about this Miles game?
Probably 1 through 10. Our individuals played maybe right at the top of their best game, and it wasn't shooting only. It was just our defensive intensity. We really got to their shooters better. We guarded the ball a lot better, blocked out a lot better. And, we keep talking about our core fundamentals. Those are the things that you just have to be very good at by tournament time. And I saw a huge step there. And I didn't see it just from 1 or 2 players, but collectively as a team. And I thought our effort was so much better than it was in the first half against CSI. Our pace of play on offense and sprinting back on defense, our transition defense was significantly better. So I just thought 1 through 10, as far as individuals, was close to their better or best games.
All right. And so, I mean, where do I want to go with this? It's thinking about this Miles game here. I really don't know where I was going to go with this here. I'm losing my train of thought. Oh, man. Lost it.
Yeah, we can go a lot of different ways with that one. Defensively, as 41 points. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going your direction, but
let's just go that direction. I like it. I've lost it, so let's go. Oh, you held them to only 41 points.
Yes,
perfect.
It was a great defensive effort, and you mentioned rebounding earlier in this broadcast here, and we rebounded extremely well, offensively and defensively there. So that just a couple more aspects that led to that big deficit at the end of the game.
Yeah, and I found it, by the way. So here
Great.
you go. Do you think that switch that was made, do you think that was just kind of a mental confidence, hey, I know I played poorly this last game, let's put it all together this game? Do you think that was a mental switch that made?
I'm really still searching for that answer, because we've had that switch turn on and turn off multiple times this year. And, on a positive side, I thought the switch was on Saturday and the switch was on yesterday in practice. So if that becomes our norm and not an exception, then we're going to be right where we want to be at the end of the year. But that's a really good question. It does feel like that light dimmers, sometimes in certain practices, sometimes in certain games, and if we're going to be consistently good, that we have to have that effort switch on at a high all the time, consistently, practice and games.
Yeah, and I know it, just like any service industry, just like in games, you could just be shooting cold, and it's just like, well, there's not much we could do about that one. But I mean, they were just shooting hot on Saturday, so it's like, I don't know if it was just that and everything, just all the dominoes lined up together, and it just was perfect. But it'd be nice to have more of those dominoes lined up.
It is, and when you look at big picture with shooting, it's percentages, and we're going to have a very good percentage one game, and the next one we're going to have a very low percentage in there, and by the end of the season we're going to probably end up shooting where we are supposed to shoot, but it's those one games where there are multiple games for us earlier in the year that those percentages are below the norm, and those are a challenge to win sometimes, especially if you're not rebounding and taking care of the basketball.
Well, you sure said it, Coach. So let's talk about this week. You go to Glendive, Montana. Yes. You're going to play Dawson. What can we expect against Dawson?
Great effort out of Dawson. We played them in a jamboree at Miles scrimmage in October, and they pressed us the whole game. They have multiple zone presses, and they're good at them. I really like what they do offensively. They'll do a lot of dribble drive motion, whether it's 5-out or with a high post in there, and they have 5 or 6 kids that can get to the rim or shoot the three. Overall, their percentages aren't extremely high as far as 3-point, but the fact that they have 5 or 6 that are capable on any given night can put some strain on it. So I really like. I think Coach Weber is doing a great job with them as far as effort and preparation and stuff. So on the road at Dawson, before winter break for everybody on both campuses, I'm sure. So we're gonna have to have the same type of effort physically and mentally as we had last Saturday against Miles.
And how are you gonna? I mean, it's finals week.
Yes.
So how are you hoping that your player, your student athletes are taking care of business in the classroom and then also preparing in time for Dawson?
Certainly the priority there. You don't want to work all semester long academically and not focusing on the final piece of the semester there. We're probably pretty fortunate. There's blocks of times in the final schedule that worked out pretty decent. Like yesterday, we were able to go from 12:30 to 2:30. Today, we can start at 3 o'clock because finals are over. Wednesday's another busy day that we have to be a little creative with our final or with our practice schedule. But then Thursday and Friday is wide open. Nobody has any finals on those days, so that's really good. We'll probably practice Friday morning and then leave for Montana.
All right, excellent. So we're all super excited. Obviously, we can't. I mean, if you want, once again, you can drive to Glendive, Montana. How long of a drive is that? 5 hours?
We'll be a good 5.5 hours on the bus.
So if you want to drive to Glendive, Montana, 5.5 hour drive, probably closer to 5, not on a bus.
Yes.
you can go. If not, they should have it live streamed, and we love supporting the Lady Thunderbirds because
my guess is we'll have a few fans. I'm telling you, a quick shout out to the Schisler family. They just don't miss. They put a lot of miles on. So my guess, weather permitting, we will have at least a couple fans there at Glendive.
we always love to have the fans there.
Yes, we do.
So T-Bird fans, we hope to. If we see you there, great. If not, live stream because it's all you got to watch our Thunderbirds.
I appreciate
they're
that.
fun to watch.
Yes.
And so we will hopefully see you next time.
All right. Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.